Fantastic results coming through this year for investors who've stuck around and backed Keaton for the last 5 years. So tell us about the production that you've been able to achieve over the past year, Paul.
Well, we've always been very clear with our investors that we were going to raise money to build mines. That's what came through last year. Our Van Gautfontein project started to ramp up. And of course, we completed the acquisition of Leo Mining and Exploration, which gave us the Valkrans anthracite operation. That was only included in the year, in 3.5 months of the year because of the delay in getting regulatory approvals. But that's where the earnings are reflective of the increased activity.
Yeah, as you said, 2.1 megatons of coal coming through from Van Gautfontein, and overall it was 2.7. So that really a key portion of production going forward. So what does Valkrans mean to Keaton in the future?
Well, effectively, we're in two businesses. We supply metallurgical coal to the domestic market, and by that I mean we supply 5-seam coal and anthracite. There's a big installed base of smelters in South Africa. They need to use carbon reductants. The alternative is to import expensive coking coal. They're under tremendous cost pressure, as you can imagine, and they've turned to us to supply them 5-seam and anthracite, and we're getting very good prices for that, although it is a niche business and volumes are low.
So cleaner coal is where you're positioning Keaton?
Well, I'm not sure I'd say that, but it's the use of our coals in the metallurgical industry, where the alternative is to use far more expensive coking coal. The other part of our business is to supply Eskom with thermal coal.
What proportion of your coal goes to the local market and what proportion goes overseas? The reason I'm asking you that is because prices on the international market have fallen to levels that we haven't seen for 19 months, sitting at a low of $94.87 mid-May. So what does that mean for your positioning in terms of targeting international versus local markets?
Well, we've built our business on the back of domestic markets. People forget that we produce 250 million tons of coal a year and only export 70 million tons. There is tremendous demand within South Africa, and that's what we aim to supply into. We look to export about 200,000 tons, less than 10% of our total coal production. And our local prices, although not divorced from international prices, are a lot stickier than there.
You have stated the fact in your commentary that it might be a challenge to meet Eskom's demand. Why is that?
No, that's simply put because we found that our consistent washed product has great appeal, it seems, to power station managers, and we would be able to, we're quite confident, sell them every ton we could produce. We've achieved 140,000 tons a month on that operation. We'd like to take it up to 175,000 tons.
Okay, so you've achieved the 2 megaton, I keep on getting that wrong, 2 megaton coal producing status. You're looking to hit that up to 5. What is it going to take to get you there?
Well, it'll take more than our existing portfolio of development projects, and that's the point. The board has set us a target that takes us beyond the projects we already have in hand, and explicit in that is our strategy changing to become more acquisitive.
So acquisitive, does that mean that you've got your eye on something right now? Where do you see the type of assets that you want to buy?
Quite frankly, we're looking at things all the time, but it's assets across the full development life cycle. So we'd look at prospecting rights right up to operating small operations.
How much have you set aside for acquisitions?
No, look, it's all dependent on the nature of the acquisition. I mean, we can use our shares, we can raise money in the market to make acquisitions, we can partner with people who need the skills that we now have in-house. So there are many different options.
Thank you so much for joining us today to unpack the numbers. That was Paul Miller, CEO of Keaton Energy.